Alright, welcome back to my cold fucking garage, however you say it. Place for storing things that you don't store in the house. Right, so we got one of my favorite bikes here, my Bianchi, whatever, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying today. Basically, today I'm going to show you how to adjust a headset. The way you know your headset is loose is such. So you will hear a distinctive noise like this. You will also notice that these little rings, you will be able to loosen. You'll be able to turn with your hand like that. When you pull up on the bars, you will feel a little movement. Very much here, but you clang it, you can feel that. You might feel a distinctive rattling when you're writing. This is pretty simple to fix. It's actually really simple to fix, and people come into my work all the time and they're like, oh, they don't even notice their headset's loose. But if you feel this rattling, or you hear this kind of noise, it's quite similar on most bikes. That kind of noise, where you pull the front brake, and when you pull the front brake, you get this. Well, there you go. That's pretty visible. You pull the front brake and you see that wobble, right? Hear that noise? That is the fork inside the steerer tube going backwards and forwards because these bolts aren't tight enough. This is a carbon fiber fucking steerer tube, so I gotta be careful when I tighten this up. I'm gonna grab my torque wrench to tighten it up. But in principle, it's the same shit. The top bolt, this bolt here, fucking, I'm just gonna move the camera. This bolt here is your tension bolt, right? So you got this bolt on the top, and then you got these bolts on the side. Apologies for the light, but give me 2 secs. So you got the bolt on the top. This bolt controls the amount of pressure on the bearings and basically stops this shit from happening, right? These 2 bolts on the side, sometimes it's usually 2, for fuck's sake. Those 2 bolts on the fucking, come on man. Give me a sec, ladies and gentlemen. Et voila. These 2 bolts on the side control, they just keep the handlebars in place, but they don't control the preload on the bearings. So what you want to do is take an appropriate sized Allen key. Don't just fucking wedge any old thing in there. Now I'm doing this with a multi-tool because I imagine most of you will have a multi-tool and you might not have a quote-unquote proper set of Allen keys. When you put this in, make sure the tool is really well engaged in the bolt, because otherwise you can do what is called stripping the bolt. Nowhere near as sexy as it sounds. It basically means that the part of the bolt that you would use to tighten and loosen is dead, and you can't use it anymore, and it's a fucking nightmare to get bolts out that are stripped. So just be careful when you do this. Make sure you put the tool in well. Make sure it's definitely in. Make sure you're straight on to the bolt. Then tighten it down. Now, the way you tighten it is righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So if you're looking at it in front of you, if you turn to the right, it will tighten. If you turn to the left, it will loosen. If you go clockwise, tightens, anti-clockwise loosens. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. That's how you remember it. There's some things on a bike are the opposite, but we're not going to worry about that right now. We're doing a headset. So tighten this up. Doesn't need to be crazy tight. It's not, don't think about this like hanging a shelf, right? This isn't supporting, this is just preload for a bearing. So basically you want to go until these stop moving. And that's it, they've stopped moving. And now when I pull the front brake, note how that, it's gone, the play's gone. The noise is gone. So we're happy. So now we want to straighten up the bars. Most stems, that's this piece, sorry I'm in your light, this piece will have a little mark down the middle that you can line up with the middle of the tire. Oftentimes there's cables in the way, the brakes in the way, and it's difficult to line it up, but just do your best. If you sit on the bike and you look over the handlebars, it should look fairly straight. Now what you're going to do is then you're going to take your appropriate sized Allen key and you're going to tighten these up. Now on here, you can't see it from there, but on here it says torque 5 Newton meters. That's not very tight, I'm going to be honest. Not as in that's a bad thing, just as in you don't have to tighten this like crazy. And again, be very careful when you put the tool on that you're really letting the Allen key engage. Like if you feel like it's not in good, don't push it. Just don't push it. Do the other side, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Now I'm going to be honest, I'm not actually going to use a torque wrench for this because I've been doing this for fucking ages, and then it'd be hilarious if I then fucking cracked the steer tube, wouldn't it? But I'm going to say that's definitely at least, yeah, that's 5 Newton meters. That was not it cracking, that was me making the torque wrench noise. The noise is gone. Handlebars will no longer be shaky. That's just the back wheel moving around. It's solid. That's how you adjust a headset. There you go. If you have any questions about that, I mean, sometimes your headset does need serviced, but most of the time, if you have a little bit of play in the headset, then you can get rid of it by just tightening the bolts back down a little bit. It will eventually need serviced, but you can usually get 2 or 3 of those adjustments out of a headset before it actually needs proper strip down and re-grease. Maybe I'll make a video about that at a later date, but for now, that'll do. Ride safe, ladies and gentlemen.